I like the wig from before, and since I had my nails from my costume, I figured I might as well. The first of the month always is for new book releases from Scars Publications, and one of them that's going to be released is cc&d's magazine called Warriors Light, and I'm proud, I'm thrilled that my photo from when I went to photograph the Eclipse this year got to be on the cover for it. It's also going to be appearing in a later Dawn of the Dead collection book and a date book, but I'm just like, that's the first time it's been out at my eclipses. And my husband and I went, and he was, I think, spending too much time enjoying looking at it, and I was like, idiot, snap, 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 like mad, so I had like over 700 photos of it.
That's good.
But,
it's short.
Yay! And I only got one of them, the perfect. And the thing is, when you're taking, I'm just going to share this with you, when you are photographing the eclipse, you have to have a filter for your camera as the sun, with the sun coming out.
Right.
You can't just photograph the sun.
Yeah.
When it becomes a total eclipse, you remove the filter and change your settings and take pictures.
Yeah.
And as the sun was starting to come out, I took this shot and I'm like, oh crap. I have to go change my filter back and put it on. And so I was going through and getting a bunch of these. But when I was able to actually pull off this one, I was like, oh.
How did you protect yourself?
Well, not only did I had solar glasses to actually see as well, so, and it was a little cloudy at points, and John has some better ones of the clouds with the solar. It's very cool. And anyway, I'm going to stop talking about Eclipse stuff and share with you things from cc&d magazine. It's called Warriors Light, which is named after one of the poems actually inside of this from someone. And this also has a performance art section. So I was going to read things from the performance art section of this book, and the whole section was about doing things as being a poetry open mic host. And this first one...
Tell me about your venue you ran in Chicago.
Oh, he wants to know about the venue. I did a show about being an open mic host because I am a Chicagoan. 2 years ago, I moved here after running a poetry open mic in Chicago for over half a decade. Because we had to move, I had to hand it over to somebody else so they could keep doing it. So yeah, I went back and visited, and I said, hey, can I go? And he goes, you can guest host and feature. And I'm like, okay, I'll go back to my old digs and do that. No problem. But this first one that I did from that was a piece about going to open mics in the first place, and it is called The Bathroom at the Green Mill. For those who do not know, the Green Mill is the place where the Uptown Poetry Slam in Chicago is. Yeah. That is the place where it has underground stairwells behind the bar for the mob guys to go and hide for Prohibition times.
Wow.
Yes, and if you ask them, they'll show you the staircase and the open door and everything. Yeah, so it's a well-known place, and this is called The Bathroom at the Green Mill. You know, I'm so used to walking into bathrooms at bars and seeing, I love Scott, and I think I love Paul, but I think I like girls, written on the bathroom, on the stalls in ink. But when I went in the bathroom at the Green Mill on the north side of Chicago, which hosts the Uptown Poetry Slam, with a black woman reading poetry about oppression and plantations and slavery, which sounded more like a speech, but I won't get into that. And I had walked into the bathroom, into one of the stalls, and I closed the door, and I saw some writing, and I thought, oh, I bet this writing actually has something to say. I bet there's poetry on these walls. And then I sat down and I started to read, and I saw, I love Scott, and I think I love Paul, but I think I like girls. And I started to think that I'd actually like to meet these people who write these messages. I'd like to ask them, hey, are you still with Brian? Because when it said Jeannie and Brian forever on the bathroom stall at the Green Mill, I wanted to know if it was really true and I could still believe everything I read, and there was a happy ending for you. And then I put on my lipstick in the bathroom at the Green Mill in Chicago, heard the black woman's voice resonating throughout the bar, thought for a moment about what was on those walls, and walked away. This next one was one I had taken this over. It started in '96. It was handed over to Charlie Newman, the second host, and he handed it over to me. And on his last night there, we were all asked to write things for this outgoing host and try to write something in his style. So I had come up with this piece for him, try to do it like him. It's called Frozen Together. So I'm sitting at this corner stool at a bar no one goes to, holding my scotch on the rocks. It's scotch for now, anything to numb the pain. And so I swirl my drink clockwise in my hand, watch the liquor swirling around, watch the ice cubes spinning in circles, and try to get you out of my head. Because when you came in like something that you can't escape. Like that beat from the dance club that's stuck in your head that makes you want to move together in time. Or like your eyes, the color of the sky. Or was it the ocean that I could drown in? Like bright sunlight just after dawn seeping past the window cracks, forcing me to attention to respond to you. Like bright sunlight seeping in past those window shades in this bar as I swirl my ice in my glass, now frozen together, swirling clockwise, because the scotch is gone. It's gone, like you. But I can't get you out of my head. So this time, maybe I'll have Jack.
That's good. That double entendre. Yeah, you don't know, Jack.
This one is actually the first piece I ever read as a host of this open mic. I mean, I'd read there years before, but this is the first thing I introduced the open mic with when I started my first time at the open mic. This is called The Battle at Hand. I wanted you to know that I was on a mission when I saw you, and that I was a warrior, and you were just some helpless victim that couldn't fight my weaponry, that wouldn't fight my weaponry. And I would come to town and pillage and rape and pillage, depending on how you put it. But rape is such a hard, harsh term, entirely inappropriate for this, because I made sure that you wanted me when it was all over, because I have a knack for doing that when I fight my battles. This is how I care to think of you. I was on a conquest. I came fully equipped with ammunition. I had bayonets. I had a rifle with rounds of bullets on a chain thrown over my shoulder. I had a .22 caliber magazine-loaded handgun. And I didn't even need to use the hand grenade or the tear gas. Even before I started using my tongue as a weapon with a kiss, I used it as a weapon with words. And I knew I had you won over from the start. You actually looked at me as I spoke, and I think you might have actually wanted to listen to me. And that I would never have to resort to violence to get what I wanted from you. We seldom had opportunities before, but there wasn't much of an opportunity here. But we made one, and we somehow made it work. And no, it wasn't a momentous moment in my life. It was just a moment. A conquest, a battle. And in my own mind, I won the war. People thought we would never get along, but I know better. There's no such thing as not getting along with me. And I know anyone can like me, as I did with you. You were easy prey,
Whoa.
Was that a fun one to actually start hosting an open mic with?
Yeah.
And these are two new ones that I did for this show that was at the High Center, actually. Two short ones that I will end us off with. Thank you very much. Yay! And I've got new pieces, and it's going to be Groovy Time next Saturday, featuring there. But I'm just going to end with these two short ones. This first one sounds more somber, and it's called Kick Someone Out. We saw the man walk inside. We didn't know why he was there. She was divorcing him. She had a restraining order on him. I know. She wasn't even there, but still, he had no place here. So we confronted him inside before he got too comfortable. I hate to do this, but we think it's best if you go. I suppose at times it may be rough being a poetry open mic host because the foundation of our space is that we welcome anyone.
That's right.
So it's tough when you have to take a stand and kick someone out to protect one of your own without the enemy ever saying a word. That was a weird time going through that one.
What do you do wrong?
He didn't do anything there. He was stalking her. She had a restraining order
Oh,
at him.
right,
Had to do,
gotcha. Oh,
and then
restraining.
he would just go to her open mics because. So she's like, I have to hide. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
be there. And when I ran this open mic in Chicago, I was the only one, and think still am, that video recorded it.
Okay.
And I said, hey, I've got in cahoots with the NSA. We're videotaping you.
Good.
If anybody has a problem with that, let me know.
Right.
And you won't be I make sure to not do that. And only one person did, and that was her, because she didn't want him knowing
That's right.
that she was there. And afterwards she was comfortable. Yes, I can be photographed now. He's gone. That was the only problem. But and the thing that was cool about that is we also made it a weekly podcast, which actually got hits, which blew my mind. But
Good.
woohoo! Yeah, I checked on that once, and I had John do the research for it.
Yeah.
And the average one was downloaded every 45 minutes, 24/7, 24/7. I'm like,
That's wonderful.
poetry, like a poetry
Yeah,
feature,
yeah.
or the open. I'm like,
You don't expect it.
so here's my last short one to close it out. And this one is called Ladies and Gentlemen, Boys and Girls. Running a poetry open mic for years, I started every open mic by saying, Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because everyone was welcome to the cafe.
Yeah.
Even after my Chicago open mic moved to a bar with a stage and anyone under 21 wasn't allowed, I still started every open mic with Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because I believe to this day that sharing your poetry, sharing your art can bring out the kid in all of us.
Yeah.
Creativity is on our side, so it takes us to a mindset that although we may be small, we can still take on the world.
Yeah.